Fire Rod is.
Yes. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Looks like we've got 2 links, a whiz robe, and I'm not sure what that is on the bottom right on Zero Rush's screen.
Santa Link, apparently.
Ho ho ho.
Something like that.
Quake medallion over at Link's house. And both players on the green team are starting at the Sanctuary. Might Fahrenheit be trying to do the Houlihan room? Well, no.
I've seen a couple people doing that lately. 2 people did it last race. Pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Fahrenheit is doing the Houlihan room setup.
So this is a lower bracket game. It's match 47. We got Ninja Bro and Zero Rush on the right, Fahrenheit, Shogun Gundam 04 on the left. There's that money from the Houlihan room. That apparently counts as a dungeon, and you can't go in there multiple times. Which is the case for money inside like Eastern too.
Yep, you only have access to it once, so use it wisely.
Got the money to buy the bombs right out the gate. That's the real edge. Because it's open, you like to guarantee that you have bombs, like you're not messing around. You also have a decent amount of money afterwards too anyway. Like, money is helpful at the start. You can buy all kinds of stuff. You could get headway onto Zora, who now has 2 chests beside him. You might want that. That money could help out.
Fahrenheit's deciding to buy the bombs, and I have an idea he's going to be using it for the Moldorm cave. Map check. 2 crystals and a red pendant. Red pendant at desert.
What other colors does Santa Link there get?
I think, if I remember correctly, and I think I did see somebody use it earlier, with the blue tunic he turns a dark blue, and with the red tunic he turns like a purplish pinkish color. Agena with a mushroom. And the bottle vendor giving 20 rupees. Not much of a return. Three of our 4 runners now have bombs. And a heart container. We have a moon pearl as well showing up.
The Moon Pearl is all you need to get to this new chest if you know how to do it. Hammer.
And nice hammer found in the Jumbo's end. Fahrenheit's finding the sword at the NPC in the mini Moldorm cave.
Players have quite a bit of equipment already. There's that blue. Tunic looks ridiculous. The deep colors just are weird for this game. They're mostly lighter.
And to see if the chicken coop has anything good. Oh, there's another sword. So when Shogun gets over there, or rather Fahrenheit gets over there, we're going to be seeing him with a Master Sword.
pretty dang fast Master Sword. Bottle
Yeah, you
Kid.
gotta like it when you gotta like it when you end up getting the Master Sword 10 minutes in, and a heart container from the sick kid.
Turning the mushroom in right away, no messing around.
And the glove. So that again, a trip will be required to get that mushroom.
We are doing some swimming here.
Fake flippering here on Fahrenheit's screen. Wanting to get over the hobo. I think he paused to wait for the Zora to fire its beam because rules still apply here. If you get hit while you're in that fake flipper state, you are going to be going back to start. Sword in the library means a tempered sword will be available to our players early on too if the boots are somewhat nice to our runners.
That's gonna make some extremely easy dungeon clears. Not to mention the armors around. A bottle from the vendor under the bridge. Standard. Are you able to flip her back out, or are you locked in? Is there a way down into the water? I think there might be.
There is a way, and you have to go right underneath the little statue, the thing that holds up the bridge. And if you dive in the water at the right spot, you'll hit the transition, and you can continue on a fake flipper state.
That has value now because you can go to Zora's and get 2 more if you have the Moon Pearl, and they do. Ninja Bro actually has the money to pay off Zora anyway.
Well, Shogun ended up going through the race game to find out blindly that it's only a piece of heart, says no to it, gets the Quake now at Link's house. And I think he's going to be going after the sword that his partner found in the mini Moldorm cave.
Those 2 chests up there are a little confusing because do you want to do all that work to get to them? I think because of the way they are, I would at least want to be able to pay off Zora first.
Yeah, I think if you want to wait, if you don't have the money, wait until you get back with Catfish. But otherwise, you want to try to route everything in all at once. A lot of this game and a lot of time can be lost if you don't route things and have to return to places more than once.
Yeah.
So Shogun finishing up here. The Mini Moldorm will have his Master Sword, and Jembro not that far behind.
Players are going all over the place, swarming across these tons of items. They got the Master Sword, possibly the Tempered Sword soon. They have the hammer. They got Quake and the Moon Pearl, and the gloves.
Yeah, and that means because they have the hammer and they have the Moon Pearl, the hammer, the gloves, the Moon Pearl, they have access to the Dark World.
Yeah, there's no reason to do Aghanim in this case because the hammer is really the thing, the last straw. Like, that's the one that's hard to get to without Aghanim dying sometimes, but not in this case.
In case in point, Zero Rush is going to be the first one to the Dark World. Are we going to get a quick map check?
Well, I do happen to have here pendant information, so let me take a look.
And there's the map check. Oh, green pendant at Turtle Rock.
Nice.
The blue pendant shows up at Swamp.
The red one is Desert Palace. Missing a bit of information there. So we might not need the boots. There's the bow in the chest game right away. Already Dark World's paying off. You need that bow for 2 dungeons already. You can do them both now, if you don't mind a little bit of Dark Room.
Now Shogun's going to be going into Eastern, which now we know there's no way Shogun can finish this dungeon. The problem for green team is the location of the mushroom that leads into the power glove isn't in an easy to check location. Like, you usually discount a Gina unless you have to go to the desert for some reason. So it made it all the more interesting decision that Zero Rush ended up checking a Gina early.
I'm gonna give a shot at updating Fahrenheit's tracker for him. Master Sword. Doing escape. Shield in blinds. Not ever wanting to see a shield, really.
And Zero Rush did get the flute, so he will have access to Death Mountain now. Which technically he already has with the gloves, but now by logic, he has access to Death Mountain. Oh, the lamp is at the Dark World Hype Cave. And the Cane of Samaria as well. And the Bombos.
Oh, man. And what the heck did Link turn into when he turned into either Bigfoot or a reindeer? I'm not sure what they were going for there. So,
I have no...
Red Team finding those gloves is crazy early. They went right for them. That really helps them a lot right now. They're really finding a lot of stuff.
Yeah, green team's in a lot of trouble unless one of them thinks to check Agina fast. Because red team is finding all the good items, all the required items at this point.
They might not turn in that mushroom right away, even if they do find it. I've seen it be delayed a lot. That's out of the way a little bit when you don't have the flutes.
And Shogun heading on over through the dark rooms. And oh boy, Ninjembro has found the Titansmith. The Titansmith is in the dark world.
Zero Rush is not far away at all. Right after he finishes blind, he'll grab those. One of them can work on the blacksmith. One of them can go do Eastern and Desert. Or not Desert, but Dark. Eastern and Dark Palace at once. A death taken by Shogun.
Shogun having a hard time getting the clip at the anti-fairies. This would be a good idea to abandon this dungeon, but he wants to get that key, or he wants to get what's in that pot. But there's not going to be anything that will help him finish this dungeon.
Right, there's a change. The bookshelf, the throne relief thing is out of the way.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure that you knew you could go in there, so they had altered it here in version 26.
Zero Rush is in dire straits. There's going to be 3 health for him in Blind's room. If he can get it, but that might be not enough. We'll see how he does.
He's just got to take it careful in these next few rooms.
At least he got the dungeon opened up. If he can get Blind to her room, that's a good start. Like, it doesn't matter if he dies too much because he can get right back in there.
I don't know if Fahrenheit's got that chest, but he gives up, and they're running out of options where they can go right now. So one of them has to think maybe Agina.
Yeah. They have the Master's Sword. They could think about Ganon, but they don't have the lamp, so they know it's not right. Because without that lamp, you're doing a really nasty tower, and it's out of logic. and that's going to keep them from thinking that that's the right move.
Yeah, you have 8 rooms of dark rooms to deal with, and that's not fun.
It's going to be a tough blind fight for Zero Rush with 2.5 hearts. It's going to be brutal. Let's see if he can pull this off with pretty much no hits taken, because that's what he's going to need to do.
He's got 6 of 9 already.
It looks like a flawless blind is actually what he did, so there it is. Blind is down. Nice work.
Textbook.
Didn't get much smoother than that. He didn't need anything. He did it with the fighter sword.
Ninjambro activating the swag duck. Let's see where Ninjambro goes with that. Fahrenheit is still in Eastern. No. Wasn't it Shogun who's in Eastern? Well, Shogun's is heading for Agina now, so here comes what hopefully will glue this all together for the green team.
I think Shogun found the book in there. Maybe he's going to Desert.
Oh, and that's why Fahrenheit would be in here then.
I think so. Yes, that's why. So they're heading to Desert. They think Desert's the answer. They're about to find the answer.
Okay, that's what exactly is. Fahrenheit ended up just going to the book, and that's it. Shogun gets the mushroom. What he does next would be a big decision, but it looks like based on the fact that he's still not saving and quitting, he's heading to Desert, like you mentioned. Right now, Shogun should be doing Desert. Fahrenheit will go grab this mushroom, should head right straight to the potion shop.
Hopefully one of them heads to the potion shop. If they both head into Desert, they're gonna lose some more time. The start is starting to kill them. Usually you don't see much damage from the start of the game, but red team is collecting everything and green team is not. Red team has gotten a lot of items. They just need the fire rod and do they even need the flippers? Because they need the mirror.
I don't think we saw anything interesting from that first section of flippers, but there still is a possibility that flippers are required. Because remember, there are now 2 additional items that can be found because of flippers.
Yeah. When you're looking at Turtle Rock being a pendant dungeon, the ice rod's out. Swamp's out, so they don't technically need the flippers unless it's supposed to be leading to one of those 2 items up there. And Desert being the last one, they do need them for Ice Palace, so the flippers are supposed to be mandatory. The players could get around it theoretically, but it is supposed to be mandatory. They need the fire
Speaking of
rod.
flippers,
In the Desert. Well, that might be helpful for green team. It depends on... I mean, fake flippers are not going to be a scary thing for the players. If all they have to use them for is to get into Ice Palace, they're fine. It's a very simple trick to pull off.
Fahrenheit is heading right straight to the potion shop. Will be rewarded for this.
Green team is about to join the game here.
And that is both items out of Desert, so Shogun has no reason to finish this dungeon at this point. Unless he saw something out on the Desert ledge, which he is heading for right now.
Zero Rush checking Catfish. I guess they don't really need the mirror, but they do need the hook shot. They need one of the 2. Hookshot could be in a Ganon's Tower kind of location, but they will need a way to get into Tower of Hera at some point here. And either one of those items would work. Honestly, the hookshot would be a better find than the mirror. That would solve every problem. Not needing the mirror would speed things up a little bit. Less places to look. Catfish is a bust.
Shogun ending up grabbing the taking the mushroom now, is going to head on over and get this mushroom turned in for the power glove. Fahrenheit's heading for the Dark World, but at about 10 minutes of a difference between what the green team did and what the red team had done in the past. This is going to come back to haunt them.
Yeah, they're a little bit behind now, but they did do some work. Eastern is mandatory, so the things they did in there is not wasted time. You don't like to leave a dungeon half done though if you can help it. Ninja Bro is finishing it right now. There's the flute for Zero Rush turned in.
We've already seen all 3 items, so it's nothing we're going to find that's new here in Eastern. But being able to finish off this dungeon the first time through is going to save them some time.
If they want to, they can turn around and go do Dark too as well. I think that's a good call.
I like what Shogun's doing here. He's going to go check to see what those 2 chests in the waterfall have, and then head on over to Zora.
This is new information. Nothing good here. I haven't seen anything in those yet. Really, the only requirement for them is flippers. You can get up there with just those, so that's pretty minimal. They could almost have anything.
Fahrenheit ends up getting the bow. Big find for them. And 20 rupees, so the flippers are not required this seed. Like as you were saying, they are technically required to get into Ice Palace, but with fake flippers, you can get around it.
Yeah, that's really the only thing I can think of where you would need those, because Swamp's out. Zero Rush stopping by to get that Master Sword.
Nothing good in the upper right-hand side of this map at all.
There's a chance they won't find boots, and in that case they won't get one of the swords. Or at least they won't find it in a reasonable amount of useful time here, as in before they go into Ganon's tower. And they wouldn't go back just for that sword, I wouldn't imagine. I don't know, maybe it would be worth a stop.
At the point in time when you're already in Ganon's tower, you're probably just going to go right straight to Ganon.
Yeah. With the flute, I'm thinking it's possibly going to save them some time to go pick up the red sword if they don't get silver arrows. But I still kind of doubt it. It's still probably just faster to just kill him.
I think it depends if we find the last sword upgrade anywhere.
20 rupees off the old man. This is our first mountain trip. We're still looking for the hook shot or the mirror. Can't get across the chasm.
Oh, Shogun has found the silver arrows, by the way.
Nice.
Found him in escape. Of the items required in this seed, the hookshot and the fire rod technically are required. It looks like Zero Rush is setting up a big flippers at this point. Might he be heading off to Zora? That's where it looks like he's going.
Racers don't watch this stream at all. They shouldn't have this chat open. Zero Rush jumping into those items as well. Heading up to Zora.
Anything said in this channel is fair game. None of the 4 players should be at any reason be in this channel at all. Shogun doing the dark, and he's coming out emerging with the old man, so he's not going to get anything good for this, but at least he's going to open up the pathway up here at this point.
You can be here, Catsworth. If you want, you can join the call and ask questions about what's going on. There's that hook shot and Palace of Darkness. Ninja Bros acquired it. That's going to be a big deal for Red
Nice
Team.
find. Very nice find.
That's going to open up the, honestly, the last required dungeon for him up there. And all the mountain treasure on both sides.
And Zero Rush, finding out right immediately from his teammate, is heading for the Dark World right now. Shogun is about to check Hype Cave, which will get him a couple of more required items in this seed.
Hookshot is really the next big item for them. They need the Fire Rod to do Skull Woods.
And unless Ether is required this seed, Fire Rod would put Red Team in go mode.
Yeah, we do need to do Mire, and we have no idea what we need for that. They have the ability to go check, though, when they feel like it, and I think that's a good stop, just for the information. What is this roundabout path? Oh, he doesn't have the rupees for the monkey trip. Oh, no. Gonna take him for a walk.
Want to take a walk, Kiki?
Needs to find 20 rupees here, actually. If he gets hit, he'll have to spend another 10 and have to get 25. Zero Rush finally adding some time to the Red Team. Their first real issue that they've run into, just not enough cash. Blind has taken out Fahrenheit's. Wonder if you can pull on any of these trees for cash. I think you can down south from here. There's 20. He's got the money he needs.
As long as he doesn't get hit by an enemy on his way back.
Yeah. The monkey will leave and take their 10 rupees with them, so you'll have to pay him 10 again, which means 110 is how much you need going up here. Exactly, every time, unless you take damage.
And Zero Rush has safely made it to the entrance to the Palace of Darkness with enough rupees to get the door open.
I don't think now is the time for a FF6 offer, much as I enjoy it.
Boots on Ninjembro's end.
That's gonna add up to some damage, because that's not just speed.
Hook shot, half magic, and the boots are in Palace of Darkness, so Red Team coming across everything nice.
Boots not mandatory at all, but nice to have, and nice to have the tempered sword too. Actually, they might unlock one of the items in the bumper, in the bumping cave, the bonk cave.
Well, the Bonk Cave, the King's Tomb, that's 2 required overworld uses, but also in the event that that torch in Ganon's tower has something required.
Yeah, they can check both of those. Palace of Darkness turning out to be a huge dungeon. And one that they need anyway. Everything's online here, everything's going well for Red Team.
Well, we've been here before. That one item that remains for go mode is going to be the one that trolls them the best. And the question is, where can that fire rod be?
We have absolutely had runs where the boots didn't show up. They are not necessarily a mandatory item. But did they really win in that case? I mean, they beat the other team slowly.
Keywords there, slowly.
Sometimes they put the boots in a place that you just don't need to check. And they are very easily an optional item. There's only 3 or 4 things they unlock as far as progress goes. you don't really need them for anything. Like, if you don't have the hook shot, they make up for that in a mire, but usually you do. Because hook shot unlocks a lot of stuff.
I had that one seed where the boots were in Ganon's tower. Chest 1.
Unless the book is used to get items, then we won't see desert again. But Ninja Bro already got the book, so he's ready to go into desert if he wants to, and he can actually take the Mire walk anyway. The book would be 2 items. It would be the 2 tablets. There's a book for boots for Zero Rush.
Knowing Ninja Bro, he would probably end up fake flippering to Ice Palace before he would even think about worrying where the flippers are at this point.
I imagine that Cherry Gum Dolly Style is the song that Ninja Bro's playing on his stream, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is the song that he's got going on in his stream.
Unless that's the name of a new technique. He's checking the mountain out, which is a very good stop. It's going to have all kinds of things, and they really need very few at this point. Just the fire rod, honestly, is what it looks like. And technically the flippers and the lamp would be handy. But they have that, actually. Never mind. Where'd they get the lamp?
The lamp turned out to be in the Hype Cave.
Oh, they've had it for a while. I didn't notice that got picked up. Really, it's just a fire rod and possibly ether. And that's
Shogun
really quick.
Shogun is in Skull Woods on a gamble here.
Stupid single arrow gets me every time. The vanilla location of that too is just ugh.
Arrow upgrade being one of the 2 items in Skull Woods. Shogun's going to have to be careful with only a heart and a half left.
They have the bow. I think the obvious choice is Eastern and Palace of Darkness. In this case, we have the items to clear them. And blinds, of course, which they've already run through a little bit and seen the items from.
Yeah, that's what Fahrenheit is doing right now, and that's why Shogun is where Shogun is right now, because he wants to stay away from where his partner is.
Yep. They've already done Eastern, so they know what's in there. There's ether in Skull Woods, so we know where that is. If we just find the fire rod, I think we'll have seen everything we need to clear the seed. Theoretically.
And
red tunic.
And that means, oh, that's a nice place for that red tunic. That also means that Skull Woods is going to come up empty for Shogun because it will not have the fire rod he needs.
Isn't the single arrow and hookshot cave and normal?
No, the single arrow is in the basement where all the rupees are in the Palace of Darkness.
Everything was so disappointing in vanilla. It was all basically... Every time I'd go into a room where I have generally gotten like 7 items, you know, and one of them would be a go mode item. In vanilla, it's all rupees every time, or bombs, 3 bombs. It's hard to get used to that after running so much of this.
Yeah, it's a different animal going back to playing the regular game after you've done so many randomizer runs.
It really devalues, it really shows you that Zelda games have a problem that many games do these days where they don't know how to reward you. And it started right here where they just had 400 chests and they just didn't know what to put in them. We got bombs, we got arrows, we got rupees. Is that what you want? There's the red sword in Tower of Hera, so gold sword if they feel like it. But I doubt that they will.
Knowing Ninja Bro and Zero Rush's abilities, I would be surprised if they went back to the library to get it.
Checking Bonk Cave, still looking for that fire rod. They're looking for ether as well. That's one of the few things that Green has had on them over the course of this race.
I'm surprised neither one of these runners have made their way over to Meyer to make sure what medallion they need for it.
Yeah, I think that's a really good move. There's items over there anyway. They don't have the mirror, so they can't get one of them, but even so. You got 2 items. You have the desert you could check if you feel like it, and you have the medallion. You need to figure out what the heck that is. I think they're just hoping to find Ether in the fire rod on the way while they clear dungeons they need to do, and then it won't even matter. Checking the back of Escape. Zero Rush jumping in there.
If I remember correctly, that is where the silver arrows are. So we'll find the red team getting one of the green team's advantages back in just a few moments.
This is a very fast seed as long as that last item shows up soon.
And there are the silvers. Now, Zero Rush with the lamp in hand, also with the key in hand, we'll be able to check this back chest. I don't think Fahrenheit's got to this point when he was going to the dark rooms. Shogun finding out from his partner all the great things that are here in pod, heading, rushing here as fast as he can. Has to be careful though, 1.5 hearts. Make it a heart. And it's just a 20 rupee on Zero Rush's screen. That fire rod still elusive.
Just for Skull Woods, what a pain. You will need it for Ganon's Tower. You could theoretically do it with the lamp, but wouldn't want to.
Zero Rush now checking the front of Escape, and there was nothing good there. Boots found here on Fahrenheit's. Shogun's making the good move here by heading on over here because there's a lot of great items inside.
Turtle Rock is Quake. The fire rod could be in there. And the first chest, or first chest that's not a key, I should say. Hookshot Cave.
Wouldn't that be something if the mirror still was required to get to the fire rod?
It could be. If they find the mirror right now, they'll probably be annoyed by all the new locations they have to check. Preferably, at this point, you'd see the mirror in Ganon's Tower worthlessly lying there. That would be the ideal situation. The runners don't want that to appear anymore. That's no longer handy.
Is Ninjembo making that path over to Misery Mire now? Yes.
A quick hop down there just to see the ledge item. Didn't want to go into desert yet. Can't hop back and forth. Sure, bosses can have the fire rod. The only one that can't is Mothula, pretty much. The only one that they need it for. So we do need Ether. We need Ether for Meyer, so they need to go to Skull Woods and grab that sucker. Green team.
Wouldn't that be something if you had to get Ether out of Skull Woods to get into Meyer to get the fire rod?
Let's see how long it takes them to figure out where Ether is. Green team's already sitting on it. This could be their chance to catch up, depending on how long Ninja Bro and Zero Rush dodge the location. He's gonna do desert, so he's gonna run through there real quick.
Fire Rod cannot be on the pedestal, and that is because Turtle Rock is a in which you need the Fire Rod to beat.
Yeah. There's nothing on the altar that we care about.
And the same story could be for the mirror. The mirror cannot be on the altar because Swamp is a pendant as well. So Ninjembo is here in desert. We'll get the flippers in just a moment.
he'll... I don't know that they were looking for them, but they'll know that logically things have opened up at this point. He can go do Ice Palace, which is still a dungeon that's optional for him, because Bombos can clear Ice Palace. They can go in there and do it, and they probably will soon. Possibly the Fire Rod's in there. Decent odds.
Yeah, haven't we seen tournament races already in this tournament that had the Fire Rod in there?
In the case where Turtle Rock's locked up like that, I think it probably is pretty likely. Honestly, I would think that would be my #1 guess right now. There's also, I don't know if anyone checked the blacksmiths. They can get 3 of those items.
And don't forget the blacksmiths. There is a way to do them without clearing out the without having the mirror.
It's a pain, but it's true. They can get all 3 of those items. The only one they can't do is the powder. They do need the powder to turn in for one of those. Shogun Gundam on his last legs here in Dark Palace. Might be worth taking a death just to reset this.
Yeah, problem is he froze all of the fire-breathing enemies in here, so he's got nothing to help kill himself.
Oh, just drop a bomb, he'll get him. He's got 20.
Oh, he should do that.
Fast skip. I think he wants the rest of the loot. Before he does. He did die to a turtle. I don't know if he meant to or not.
I think that was a missed use of the hammer. And Jembro checking Hobo as well as Highly Island, finding the 10 arrows there. Going to get the green potion in just a moment. Fahrenheit's with the boots now. We'll head over to the Bonk Rocks. We will not find anything new.
Red team already with 3 crystals each and no time at all. They got 40 minutes in and they're just running through this seed. Lightning fast.
Yeah, that's the thing here when you're only 1 item away from go mode at this point. These guys are going to be on a tear once they find that Fire Rod.
I don't know what Zero Rush is after up here. Maybe he's going to open up Turtle Rock and take a look, because you can check the first chest. It could be in there. I feel like that's a big waste of time. I've never seen it in there like that, but it could be, I guess, theoretically. I'm sure it's happened.
The race last night with myself, Dark Cuckoo, versus our opponents, the lamp turned out to be in Turtle Rock.
Did I make that seed?
Yes, you did. Thanks a lot.
Yep.
Zero Rush wants the red tunic.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, say hello to Purple Link.
I think he's hoping that his partner will find the Fire Rod and Ice Cave here, and he's gonna roll through dungeons he needs in the meantime. There's the mirror. That's unfortunate. Like I said, that's gonna add a bunch of time to the exploration. They're gonna go all over the place, but at least they can do blacksmiths quickly. That's like the one advantage.
That is an interesting spot for that. And Jembro failing on trying to get this bomb to work the way he would like it to work, and well, we'll opt to just go ahead and change the switch in the room.
The mirror opens up a lot of really annoying places. It opens up Checkerboard Cave in the mire. That's probably the least annoying of them. It opens up the chest over the ledge in the Lost Woods there. It opens up the chest on the graveyard ledge. It opens up Bombos, the tablet.
And a lot of these places are out of the way places at this point for these guys.
It also opens up Spectacle Rock and the Floating Island. And also, I think, the Lake Floating Island as well, so there's 3. I know that that one's a bust, though.
The most annoying one that opens up is the Swamp Palace, because there's 6 new items that are available to those guys via that place.
An entire dungeon is now accessible. Ice Palace without the fire rod is also really tedious. You have to wait for this animation like 4 different times. The boss is 1. Every time you want to kill these ice guys, that's 1. You're gonna end up casting bombos 3 times.
Thank goodness for half magic.
He has not gotten all the items yet because the dungeon did not give him the big key, and he wants to keep exploring, so he's gonna go back up and do it. Still got a couple things left to find. Fire Rod could still be an ice. That would be nice to see because you don't want Swamp to be the answer. The mirror is a curse as much as it is a blessing. And Zero Rush is going to grab that curse right now. Getting it early is much better, then you can check these things on the way. That's when you want to see the mirror. You don't like to see it or the book late game. They both come with a lot of tedium.
And speaking of tedium, we still have 2 fetch quest items to find that could come into play.
Green team is lagging behind on crystals here. They just found the blue tunic. Well, the red tunic, technically. Fahrenheit's going after their 2nd crystal here in the Tower of Hera.
Yeah, at some point you actually have to make progress toward clearing dungeons.
Shogun doesn't have any dungeons done. This kill here is his first. So what we have here is Red Team being ahead by almost 3 dungeons as they go through most of Ice Palace already. Just questing for that fire rod, not finding it. Got the big key in vanilla location on the ice cave here. If that's a big chest item, then that's a really annoying place for the fire rod. Absolutely devastating.
If I'm Zero Rush, I would actually wait for my partner to tell me what's in the big key here so I know whether or not I have to go through this tedium.
Yeah, I would sit right here, actually. This is one of those few times where you might want to wait. Might as well push the block over to the boss. It looks like he is waiting there. Looks like he's just taking a break. He needs that information.
Yep. Yeah, exactly, because otherwise, if this turns out to be nothing, then you're wasting a whole bunch of time.
I don't know why he shoved those blocks. Oh, I know. He's going to reset him anyway. It's +5 capacity. They both head off on their own way here to kill the boss.
Nothing. Time to go ahead and do a synchronicity kill of Cold Stare.
Let's see who's better at this fight. Zero Rush pulling frames ahead.
Both of these guys are going to have to do a Bombos Cold Stare kill. And by the looks of things, Cold Stare is going to be dropping the compass.
Cold Stare. Doomed as doomed gets. Actually, Ninja Bro's a little low on the health, even with Red Tunic. But he's going to use that blue cane to make sure that he wins here. Cold Stare thought he could get a piece of him, but not today. The blue cane, faster than what Zero Rush did. You can drop that boss really quick. You can lock him in the corner if you really nail it. But,
yeah, Cold Stare says nobody put baby in the corner.
Back to Green Team, Tower of Hera wrapping up.
Fahrenheit has the Butter Sword. Shogun now has the Tempered Sword. Is going to be heading over towards Hera. And hello, Dead Rocks. And poor Shulker can't even go see the old man to get some health refilled.
They need to find Ether and Fire Rod. They're locked out of these 2 dungeons. The thing about it is that they can do Skull Woods without the items. They can get Ether out of it if they just feel like doing it. They're checking with the mirror locations now. I told you this was a curse, but it could pay off. It could be... I mean, it's just a mandatory bunch of checks that would have been...
I like the fact that they're splitting it up.
Yeah. There would have definitely been no way, if the mirror was in Ganon's Tower, that you would have to waste time on any of these places. But now, any of them could be it. They could be the Fire Rod sitting on one of these ledges. They need to know. If they find the Fire Rod lying around, that's pretty much going to seal their victory. Because they'll head right to Skull Woods and they'll get their missing item from Mire.
Zero Rush just missed an opportunity here. According to the tracker, Eastern and Ice... No. Never mind.
Fire Rod has been located. All they need is Ether, and he is going to head immediately for Skull Woods, right?
I would assume that's going to be one of his next stops.
I think he's checking Bombos first, just so his partner doesn't have to do it. He's right in the area.
I was about to say Zero Rush missed an opportunity to check the double-chested fairy, and there's the ice rod.
They're probably not thrilled to find that because they might think, you know what, Ether might be in Turtle Rock, but we know that's not true, so hopefully they won't head up that way. They can now do Turtle Rock, though. Both rods found in 10 seconds of each other.
Nah, they're going to go to Skull Woods before they even dare go into a place like Turtle Rock. So technically in this sea, the only pendant dungeon that was required was going into Desert, and that was just to get the flippers, which you can fake flipper to avoid.
Yep, dungeon's theoretically optional. So we just found the big bomb.
Yeah, there goes 100 rupees.
He's got it. He's got more.
He better take care of this bomb because he doesn't have another 100 rupees.
Got a long walk. Gotta kill that Hinox.
So the play to make, you have to get into Ice Palace, and hopefully the green team can remember you can do it with the bombos.
Yep, we have a bombos required ice. That's probably the meanest thing here. That's flippers in desert. That's no big deal. The ice bombos requirement is not usually something you expect and desire to do, but it's not so bad. All of the players, all of them have half mana, so none of them are scared of anything that Ice Palace has at it. That is one of those tips that's listed in the randomizer FAQ right on the bottom. They want to make sure you know that. So I would expect all these players to be very familiar with the concept of Bombos Ice Palace.
Ninjembro or Zero Rush, one of them is going to be heading for Skull Woods now. And looks like Ninjembro is going to be doing that. Zero Rush is probably going to be checking north the graveyard area first.
Ninjembro in Skull Woods. This is it for the race right here. When he decides to open that chest, it's over.
Yeah, he's got to make it over to the upper right-hand side. He's going to have to take the long route around because I believe it's the big key, if I remember correctly, that's going to be in this next chest. Oh, no, it was an arrow upgrade. Never mind. So countdown about 30 seconds until the red team is in go mode, putting green's tournament lives on thin ice.
When you take into account that they already have 5 crystals apiece, they have some seriously fast time here. At an hour in, they're going to have 6 or 7 crystals. Because Skull Woods is very fast. That's it, go mode.
And we have
team.
go mode for the red team. The ether's been found. His partner now knows what he needs to do. Get on over to Skull Woods and finish this thing off.
Skull Woods leading right into my very friendly location for Ether, honestly, because they have everything they need to finish both now. They're gonna walk from one to the other.
So
Skull Woods
sound
is
the
a quick
drums.
hop.
We're on go mode.
Skull Woods has got to be one of the fastest dungeons, especially when you know exactly what to do. And Meyer, same case. Ninja Bro will be just barely ahead of his teammate here, and you can tell him exactly where the big key is. They can split that up if they have to, and then the Ganon's Tower is going to be a pretty quick journey.
Well, Ninjembro still has to get to Thieves Town, looking at his tracker. So there's going to be a little bit of separation between these two. I
Oh.
believe Zero Rush is still going to go get to Ganon's Tower first.
Yeah, Zero Rush is the one with 5 done. Very fast, good playing of Skull Woods here. Green team is still looking for their stuff. They don't know where to go yet. They have a lot of work to do. Skull Woods. It's boss time.
Yeah, with half magic, red male, this should be a fine fight here for Ninjembro. Obviously, the spikes are still going to do a hard damage. I'd almost consider walking right into Mothula to spare yourself. Okay, now he's getting into a little bit of trouble. Never mind, Mothula down.
The boss was not being very cooperative about taking hits there. Not much you can do when he wants to live in the spikes.
Fahrenheit's now into Thieves Town. Ninjembro's going to go into Thieves Town next. Ideal route for him. Zero Rush is going to go to Meyer afterwards, and then he'll lead Ninjembro right straight to the big key. If I'm Shogun, I'm heading with my bombos to ice. But the way he's staring at his map, they're trying to figure out what they can and cannot do.
They can do a lot. They honestly can do quite a bit. This is why they're so far behind, is they just have so much to explore still. It took them so long to figure out how to get into Dark World. That cost them a whole lot of time. Red team has gone extremely quickly through this. They unlocked everything in no time flat. Almost in an hour.
The big thing was Zero Rush's decision to go check Agena so early.
This is the fastest run we've seen in a while. The best time we've seen was on version 25. It was an hour and I think 4 minutes or something like that. Very quickly. Was it an hour 7 minutes actually? I never remember times. I think it was actually an hour 7. Hour 4 would be crazy. But actually that was on other logic. And it's been a while. Most of the runs we've seen have been pretty mean. They've been 90 minutes plus. We've seen a couple that just could not be done much faster than that. So to see a race go this quickly again, it's been a while. It's been a long while.
Yeah, our race last night, everyone finished up in the 145, 152 range, but it just became a matter of finding the stuff in the right order, and you wouldn't think of checking Turtle Rock to find Lamp.
The time save has just dissolved ever since version 25. It's been a really slow going, just in general.
I wonder where Fahrenheit is going at this point. Zero Rush trying to find out where that big key is so we can help Ninjambro get to it. Maybe we'll have a fast mire.
We will.
Yes, we will. The god set up here to mire. By the way, that mire last night, Smite, had the hook shot.
Nice. Interesting seed. Well, we have an extremely fast mire, and Ninjambro is wrapping up blinds, so 1 minute or two behind his partner, he'll grab that big key.
Fahrenheit didn't have enough to withstand the spike cave. Ended up taking a death in that last frame. Because what happens if you're down to a heart and you pick up that rock? As soon as you drop that rock, you take the damage from the spike. You're dead. And by the way, that mire was a pendant dungeon.
Good. Wouldn't have it any other way. Both red team players at an hour in have cleared 6. They're looking at an hour 15 for their time here, or less, if they're quick eye on Ganon's tower. Depending on how friendly Ganon's tower is. Where's that big key? We will soon find out.
Yeah, Ninjambro now has the knowledge from his partner where that big key is. He's just going to make this a really fast trip through Misery Mire. Zero Rush getting a 2-cycle on Vitreous. Down Vitreous goes. Zero Rush, the first one to head to Ganon's tower.
What do you think the key is? Numbers 1 to 22. How many items will we see before the key? That's what we're measuring. We're going by the player's route, not what number the chests are, so depends on what way they go, which ones are which number.
We have a 33 in chat. I don't think that's possible.
That's the worst guess I've ever seen in my life.
Even worse than the 420?
No. Bob chest. I don't think I've seen that in a long time.
My guess is going to be 16. What we're guessing is there are 22 chests, as Smite had pointed out, where the big key can be in Ganon's tower. And we're just trying to pick a number between 1 and 22 and figure out how many chests these guys are going to open before they find the big key. I think Catsworth's got the perfect answer, 23.
Well, if Catsworth says it, it's got to be right. Spike Cave check. We haven't seen that this run. Oh, what have we got in here? There's nothing left of value.
This is the second attempt from Fahrenheit to get in here.
Oh, he died in here already.
Yeah, he was the one who died trying to get... He had 1 heart when he lifted up this block the last go-around and ended up dying, and nothing.
Ganon's tower now open. Red team's got to be feeling good about being in Ganon's tower in hour 4.
Shogun taking a death on the last cycle of Blind.
It sucks, but it's not a bad death. As far as deaths go, it's pretty mediocre as far as time loss. You don't like to die at all, but if you were going to die to any boss, Blind would probably be at the top of the list.
Well, it sucks to die to any boss, you're right. And it isn't a huge time loss for the fact that he had him, I believe, down to his last hit.
Zero Rush is heading right. So we have seen chests 1 and 2. Will we check the tower room? Probably not. We'll do that later. Zoom in past the tower room. That's 1 chest skipped. Hopefully it's not in chest 22.
He knows his partner's not that far behind, so he's just going to go ahead and do the right-hand side, leave the left stuff for Ninjambro.
If I were him, I'd grab the compass room chest, the one coming up, and then turn around. I don't see why you would keep going this way. I don't really feel like there's a good reason to. There's the big key on the right. He's got it already.
Oh, wow. That is extremely good luck. But he still has to get another key
Next
to
room will have
replenish
one.
his meter. But he will get one, as you mentioned, in this next room, that pot that's up on the top.
Chest 3 in big key Ganon's tower. Wow, that's super fast. Just Zero Rush going up, and in no time at all, we'll see Ninja Bro doing the same. In about 2 minutes, he'll be inside and heading up to Aghanim as well. These guys are all keyed up to finish in an hour 15. It's been a while. It's been a long while since I've seen the speed that fast.
And what this scene came down for these guys was getting very lucky. These guys had extremely good luck. The path that they decided to make, I mean, Zero Rush opted to go with Ganon, and that paid off by having the required power gloves. And other various decisions they made just throughout all, it just fell into place.
Really good routing, really good playing.
I don't think I've seen a gamble from these guys that didn't pay off this seed.
They wasted no time. The only thing that slowed them up at all was avoiding Skull Woods, which made sense because they didn't have the fire rod. But even that didn't really slow them down. They still had to find it, and in the end it was an ice. So I guess really the time loss was skipping ice for so long, but I mean ice is just a place you don't want to go, so I can understand why you would avoid ice. Don't want to do the bombos thing, but it wasn't too bad, and they did go into it in what, 45 minutes or so? Like, it was not like they avoided it forever. They cleaned up the heck out of the world.
Ooh, right. That's why the green team had not at all checked and saw what head over to Ice Palace because they didn't have the Titans-Myth. They finally now have the Titans-Myth, or at least Shogun does.
They're finally ready to go in there, but will they?
Well, Shogun's about to get reminded, oh wait, I don't have the mirror. Which is not a big problem. You can save and quit and he'll still be in tow.
I think that's the plan. It's an annoying plan. He just doesn't want to do ice. That's the ice
funny
rod.
enough, he gets the ice rod.
The wrong one. If it were the fire rod, he'd be much happier. Both players in
And
the game
now
is
he
sour
gets
now.
the realization. So Fahrenheit's going to head on over, get the Titans-Myth real soon. Shogun probably going to go ahead and return this guy, get the reward for it, and his next decision, I don't know. Ninja are about to get the big key.
The clock is winding down, and it looks like Red Team is going to be a good 30 minutes ahead of Green Team currently if they find it soon. They pulled quite a bit of distance here.
Winner of this match will take on Bane and Fascos in the next round, losers round 4.
There's the mitts for Fahrenheit's as well. Now that they have those, I do expect Ice Palace to show up on their list soon. Same as I did for Red Team. Zero Rush already finished with Ganon's Tower. An hour 9, he's got to go kill Aghanim and Ganon, and then he's finished.
What a lucky piece of heart to find right there to replenish his health. Shogun opting to go into, or heading over to the Myers shed, seeing maybe going over to the Misery Mire itself, and Fahrenheit's now in the Ice Palace.
That's what I like to see. I hate this dungeon. but it is such a good dungeon to check. It really is. 3 items. Unfortunately, it is often had the key to the race inside of it. You can set your watch to Ice Palace a lot of times. Ice and Tower, or not Tower of Hera, but Palace of Darkness. Those 2 dungeons were essential here.
And the mirror grab for Fahrenheit. Shogun is going to be doing the full clear of Misery Mire, but Fahrenheit's now on the path of finally finding the final item for Go Mode for them.
I'm not surprised they're going into Mire. They need to clear it, and it could have the Fire Rod. Unlike Red Team, they didn't have they didn't have to worry about Ether. They already had it. They found it a long time ago. They were ready for Mire to open up. Preparing to get the time off Zero Rush here. Red Sword and Silver Arrows is pretty easy Ganon fight. He's got it down pretty well too. Dodging those bats. Hookshot iframes too. He's on phase 4 here soon. His partner is almost there. Red team is nearly done.
Oh, Shogun is going... Alright, that Shogun was going right straight for Vitreous.
I think Green Team will be surprised by how fast Red Team finished this seed. I don't think they expect the other team to be done right now. But there he is. Zero Rush has killed Ganon. Nice work. 1 hour and 12 minutes. Very nice. That's in the top 5 times for sure, and it's certainly on the new logic the best time we've seen. We've only run a couple times on the new logic, and it's all been hour 45 kind of runs. That is extremely good time.
So Zero Rush taking a few moments here, hoping that the green team doesn't come across the dot duns real soon. Long enough for Ninjambro to finish this thing off to guarantee them their spot in round 4 of the losers bracket.
Ninjambro right behind his partner, as is usually the case in team battles here. Just gotta finish agging him and do the Ganon fight, so just give him a couple more minutes and he'll be done as well. Probably 1 hour 15 or thereabouts, 1 hour 16. Assuming no errors. He's got the red tunic, he's got the silver arrows as well, red sword. Not as many hearts, not as much safety. Remains to be seen if he'll need it or not. Ganon is not a very hard boss once you've learned him. He can hit you really hard, but you can dodge most of his stuff pretty easily if you're good at him. If you underestimate him, he might take you out though. So I'm never surprised to see anyone die to him, but these players usually give him the run.
Yeah, seeing the dreaded dot duns in chat when you're not even in Go mode is not a fun feeling. Especially when you haven't figured out what the answer to this puzzle is.
Yeah, if one team's finishing up and you're not in Go mode yet, that's no good. That's no good for your morale. You aren't expecting to finish in time then, because we're going by average time here, so the other teammate, who you expect to finish right alongside, already has an advantage on you. At this point, Green Team has probably accepted defeat.
Ninjambro accepting Lag City here, but you have to at this point. You don't want to take a death.
Absolutely not. Bouquet is not ideal, but it doesn't do damage to Ganon, so it won't interfere with hitting him with your red sword. just causes the screen to mess up and takes a lot of slowdown on you.
Fahrenheit's heading on over to Cold Stare. 4 hearts left. Could be a dangerous fight coming up.
I have not been doing a very good job of updating Fahrenheit's tracker, but they do have a couple more items than that. They've got 4 crystals. I think they're these ones. Not enough crystals, though.
Good decision by Ninjambro to hold back, not go daring for a hit, which would have caused a death, and he will finish.
115.40. 41 actually, but that's it. Game complete.
Red team, Zero Rush and Ninjambro will move on in this tournament. They will face Fayane and Vascos in round 4. Unfortunately for Shogun Gundam and Fahrenheit's, will have to say goodbye to them in this tournament.
They just had some bad luck on their pathing. That's what slowed them down so much. Red team played extremely well and had very good luck on top of it. They had a really good run. It's all around excellent job. Everything worked out for them very well. They're gonna come in for some commentary. Hey guys, nice run.
Hey, what's up? Hey, thanks.
How's it going?
That was the fastest we've seen in a while. This new logic has not allowed for runs like you guys just had. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been weeks.
I mean,
Yeah,
Zero
that's-
Rush was saying he thinks this would have been a rough seed solo. It just happened to work well for teams.
Yeah. We got lucky and we were able to split up. All the locations we were splitting primarily were required locations anyway. Like, we went into desert really late, and that was the only optional place we went into, and we didn't even need the flippers anyway.
Yeah. What made you decide to go to Agena as early as you did, Zero Rush?
Because I had 3 bombs. I found bombs at Dam, and I had nowhere else to go at that point. Like, I didn't have enough bombs to do Moldorm Cave. I didn't have a weapon to do Escape, and I was still waiting for Ninjambro to finish Kakariko Village, so I just decided to knock out Agena's Cave before I went to Sank, to give him time to get through there and figure out what I needed to stop by.
Well, that was definitely the start of your lead right there. That gave you a good 10 to 15 minutes on the other team before they got that done.
Jeez.
Oh wow! What was
I'm just-
that? Was that gloves? No, that was the mushroom that led to gloves.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the mushroom that led to gloves, which gave you guys Dark Road access.
Yeah, that was good. I'm glad there wasn't anything in Escape, because it was like, I don't know, like 45 minutes to
Just
an hour or
silvers.
something like that before we realized. Yeah. Timely silvers for sure.
The only thing that held you back was wondering where the fire rod was and where the ether was, but one thing led to another.
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of found them in a fairly natural progression. Although I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, Fire Rod was in that Southern
Fire
Road.
Road. That's what they're looking for right now. They found ether without it, and that's what that's the one or two. They had like, what else did they have? They had silver arrows and that on you, and that's just about it. You found everything else before them.
Wow.
So they did do Mire. They're doing it right now without the fire rod. They're looking for it in there.
Okay. Oh wow! Especially with where the big key is there, being able to go mode that versus full clear is a huge difference.
Yeah. So I think they're gonna take almost half an hour longer than you because of all these things that are just not working out for them. Everything is going wrong on green team right now.
Oh no!
Damn.
Fahrenheit's going into swamp.
Oh, no.
Death too. Yeah, that's nasty.
Swamp, please. We
Yeah,
were
that
talking
sucks.
about splitting if we didn't find Fire Rod. We were talking about splitting Swamp and Turtle Rock.
Yeah, when Ninjambro went into Skull, I was just checking. I was like at Bombos or something, and I was like, "Well, do Skull, check the pedestal. If you don't find Ether, then he can do Swamp since he had the flippers." And I was going to go do Turtle Rock.
and neither turned out to be needed. The only technical required pendant dungeon was to get the flippers out of desert, but as you guys pointed out, fake flippers makes that obsolete.
Yep.
I was really worried that the mirror would screw up everybody's time. I was afraid that you would have to do swamp or something dumb like that. Wasn't happy to see it show up as late as it did.
When we saw mirrors show up in Ice Palace, both of us were like, "Oh god damn."
Yeah, especially since we had already checked all of the flipper locations, except for Hobo maybe at that point, so we knew it wasn't required for anything else.
I'd already checked Hobo, because I checked Hobo before going down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that could have been a scary seed. It was surprisingly nice for, you know, the progression of items and what it could have been. I'm surprised they haven't found the fire rod. I feel like South of Grove is one of those places that you should check by now.
Yeah, I would check. I personally would check the overworld, like the blacksmith and stuff, and then a couple other mirror locations before heading into the swamp. But I can understand too. The swamp is a pretty good dungeon. It's a pendant though. But at this point, I think they're running down the options and they're thinking, you know what, 6 in here, that's more than anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone into like Pendant Swamp with that mentality before, where it's like, well, I could go to these overworld locations, but it's only like 3 of them, and they're somewhat spread out, and only to find out, only to find out that it was the worst possible play. But I feel like you have to go into randomizer, just thinking about just maximizing.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, the gambles aren't going to work 100% of the time, but, what are you going to do? Check the 2 overworld locations that you have left, or the, Pendant Swamp that has 6?
I'm just disappointed that Ether wasn't on pedestal.
Oh my god, shut up.
I guess it could have been.
Yeah.
I would have been mad about that only because I was in desert and didn't finish it. Even if I could have just, fluted 6 and went in the back door easily.
Gundam takes another death to Vitreous. That's 2.
Oh, 2 deaths to Vitreous.
Yeah,
Does he have silvers?
He does, and he was trying to use it, but he's been going in with low health both times.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel you. I was shooting arrows in the wrong direction in Vitreous. It's just not a great seed for Vitreous.
He outright said in our chat, he said, worst Vitreous fight of my life. I called him out on it. He was like, okay, worst silver arrows Vitreous fight of my life.
Yeah, especially since Njembro did it in the spring tournament with Fighter Sword.
Rick, don't remind me of that. Those days are behind me. I now know that the hammer does, temporary damage.
Yeah, that'll help on Trinex as well.
Yeah, that was a big mishap in that tournament. And
I'm sorry, I had to call you being chased by an eyeball for a good 30 seconds there.
30 seconds? I think that fight lasted like 3 minutes.
It was a while. The Trinex fight, I think the Trinex fight alone cost you that race, I'm pretty sure. Because it took you longer to do Trinex than the other person took to do all of Fair Rock or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Well, you live and learn anyways. You guys got it done, and you're going to be moving on to the 4th round of the bottom bracket. Furiane will be one of your opponents. Vasquez will be your other.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one.
I'll go ahead and make that room. You should see it on Discord later tonight. I'll be ready to do it whenever you guys are ready, because I'm basically in lower bracket frenzy right now. I'm trying to get it caught up to the main, because the main is up there in the quarterfinals already, so we got 8 games to play basically in the lower bracket to catch up, and that's one of them. So whenever you guys are ready.
And I still have all next week free before I go back to work the following week, so we can schedule it for pretty much whenever.
Yep.
Well, thanks for playing. Good game. That was thanks for giving me a fast time. It's been a while. I was starting to think I had cursed seeds.
Yep.
No
all right,
lamp
see
into
you
rock
later.
this time.
All right, see you guys.
Take it easy.
Good day.
I'm just gonna let these two finish up. They're all about completing their run here, and they got probably upwards of 20 minutes left just because they're just not finding the thing that they need. But it's just a matter of time. Once they leave Swamp, I think they're gonna find it. Hopefully no more deaths to Vitreous. It looks like he's coming in with more health this time. The red tunic, he can take 2 or 3 hits.
Yeah, he's just gotta start dodging the lightning bolts.
Lightning bolts are sort of predictable. You have lots of warning for them, but actually I saw it when I was tooling around with Vitreous in vanilla to see how to best make a challenge for a newcomer kind of thing. I saw that the lightning bolt itself does not choose its path until the frame before it fires. So actually, if you rewind right before he fires, it'll change it completely. So there's no predicting this eyeball at all. His lightning bolt just goes all over the place.
Shogun's gonna get this done. Argus is down on Fahrenheit's. Fahrenheit's gotta make his way over to the Haunted Grove now.
Shogun Gundam has gotten Vitreous. That's his 5th crystal. Blue pendant for Fahrenheit's and nothing in Swamp. Just realizes that just was not the answer. It sucks to lose, but also it gives you a bit of insight into the race. You know when the players are done in an hour and 14 or so, there must be a pretty easy path. You know what I mean? Like, you must know they didn't do any pendant dungeons. There's no way they did. There's nothing on the altar. You know these kind of things just based on the enemy team's time. You know that somewhere that fire rod is lying around.
Oh, you better not be heading for Turtle Rock, Fahrenheit.
They won't be able to get far, so there's that. They might be checking Hookshot Cave. I don't know if they ever did. Shogun has had enough dying. He's going to buy himself some potions, looks like. It's a good stop.
Very good decision. There is nothing wrong with taking safeties. A fool goes into a fight, dies, spends 30 minutes because they don't want to go get potions. The problem is the teammate who right now has the ability to check the Haunted Grove is on Turtle Rock. And Shogun now heading for Ice Palace will find that mirror real soon.
My progress in Legend of Legaia is the Tower of Soul, if you know where that is. Halfway through. I wouldn't really call it a race between two teammates because which one of them wins often comes down not to mistakes, but which one went clearing weird stuff and which one didn't. Like if Fahrenheit goes right now to get the fire rod, if they just find it, they'll be the first one done. Because Shogun just found the mirror, he has to do this dungeon here.
And yeah, this is a required dungeon, so you have to get through here.
Yep. Fahrenheit is going into Turtle Rock, it looks like.
This is a case where I want to see an item in that compass room, because if it's a key, that might lead him on the wrong path.
Yep. They're not going to get far in any case, even if it is a key. If the whole run goes, they could get pretty far in, but only so far before the fire rod, and those keys locked behind it on the right side lock them out. And that's a really friendly thing that Total Rock actually does. Keeps you from doing this. Fuck catching that. We're finished here. Our business is concluded, Total Rock.
Yep, there's nothing else you can do.
And they realize that and bail out. Total Rock is the incorrect move. They're probably happy to see that, but honestly, that's again, that's the kind of thing where you can look at the enemy team's time and be like, Total Rock, that's you know, they probably did not do that unless they got really lucky and guessed that the fire rod was the start. The team finishing, that's the little bit of outside information you're allowed to have. You know when the enemy team is done, so you can use that. Obviously it's too late at that point, but in a normal race you still see that information. If you're racing in the weekly, you'd see 100 people, you'd see which one's finished. You could use the information there. If they finish in like an hour flat, you know Ganon's tower is going to have an easy key, you know, things like that. At 90 minutes, these two have 2 dungeons left. Each. Meyer and Skull Woods for Fahrenheit, and Ice and Skull Woods for Shogun. They need to find the fire rod. Shogun should have the easier go of it here, but Meyer isn't going to be too bad for Fahrenheit knowing where the big key is.
Yeah, Fahrenheit's going to be checking some stuff here that requires the mirror, so hopefully this means he will come across it real soon. And yeah, Shogun didn't bomb jump, but that is the only reason why we're seeing Shogun take the long way around. And if you don't know how to do it, it's best not to spend a whole lot of time trying to figure it out. Well, Shogun is not full clearing ice because of the fire rod thing. It's more because the big key turned out to be in its regular location, which is all the way up on the second basement. Farron had already found where the big key was and has already explored the ice and knows that the mirror is the only asset that's in here. So the idea, let's go ahead, check King's Tomb. So Fahrenheit is doing what he should be doing. The problem is that he's not checking that one spot that it's going to be.
I hope they remember it, but I can't imagine forgetting. They're just checking the wrong ones first.
This is just bad luck at this point.
Yeah, it's coming down to they're going to have to 100% the seed almost, when the other team only did 70% of it. Fahrenheit has his Shogun has his big keys ready to go to Cold Stare here. He didn't bomb jump, so he has to clear most of the dungeon. Might not be familiar with the bomb jump. That'll slow you down in ice here. You can still use the red cane to get around some of the work, though.
It's a case of, if you're not confident doing it, don't do it. I think Fahrenheit is coming across the final possible place he's got. I think grabbing this... No, he's not going to go grab the chest. He must have already done that. Well, one spot left. Oh no, he's grabbing the breadsmith. I thought Shogun had already done that though. Oh, I know what he's doing. Shogun checked the breadsmith, but never checked the locked chest, so Fahrenheit has to do the breadsmith in order to get the chest to spawn.
Gundam's gonna have to watch it with his health, but he does have a blue potion he picked up, so that might come in handy here. Cold Stare is not gonna have any mercy on you if you get hit with that kind of health. Oh man, the blacksmith's being checked now. Before the ledge.
Yeah. Oh no, he's gonna take the chest back and not get to the ledge.
At least he'll be close. Almost there. It's really close.
And this has got to be frustrating when the other team is already done. You still can't find the item that you need to get into go mode.
I'm sure they'll have a lot to say about the situation. Unfortunately, Fahrenheit is not in the Dark World when they need to be. They're walking right past what would be the solution. Where are they heading now?
Back to the portal.
They are where Red Team was at an hour in at this point. They just need to get there. They just need to find that rod. Actually, a little bit ahead of that. They've done Meyer.
I was about to say, if I was Shogun, get that potion as your Y button.
Cold Stare here with the gold sword should be a pretty easy battle. We're talking 3 hits each, I think, on these. Maybe more. Apparently more, maybe more like 4. I'm not sure exactly on the gold sword. I think with the red sword it's 6.
Here we go.
Hey.
Fahrenheit is
Nice.
heading there.
A sigh of relief washes over the green team as they find the fire rod.
And there it is.
Excited to add that to your inventory here.
Now get yourself on over to Skullwood to get this seed done and over with, guys. You've earned it.
Shogun Gundam will be in Ganon's Tower in no time because Skullwoods is a free victory for him. He can walk right through there and grab the key on the way in and just kill the boss. Does not need anything. Has everything he wants out of there already. They've already been into Skullwoods. They've already checked it out and gotten their ether out of there, so...
Shogun grabbing some potions first, and now with the information from his partner, we'll head on over to grab the fire rod.
Fahrenheit didn't actually need to go down here. Part of why Skullwoods is so neat is in the randomizer anyway. It certainly isn't neat in vanilla, but in the randomizer, you can totally walk past all of this nonsense. You don't have to deal with any of this if you know what items to get and what not. Does he not have ether actually? Maybe that's why he's in here. That could be.
Should. He's got it on his tracker.
Well, I'm running that tracker. I just assumed he did. But he still needs to do Meyer, so maybe he's missing ether. That's a good reason to come down here. We saw Zero Rush, I think, do it without coming down here still. Like, he dropped in the back, which was slightly faster. It was a pretty good move.
Yeah, Fahrenheit has not been here before. It was only Shogun who was here, so he's about to pick up the ether.
Fahrenheit's also now in go mode. Was missing that item. Now he needs to finish Skullwoods, and with that ether, go finish Meyer as well. Meyer, he knows wide open, so should be pretty quick. Shogun grabs his fire rod, and should be heading right up here too. Shogun is the one we expect to jet right to the boss.
Yeah, that does explain why we saw Fahrenheit's drop down where he did. But all Fahrenheit's had to do is just go right through that main entrance, go to the room to the right.
Yep, that works.
So because of Fahrenheit's trip to Misery Mire coming up, it will be Shogun first to Ganon's Tower for the green team.
Yeah, Meyer will take a little bit, even if you know where the key is. It's still going to be a pretty quick clear. We're talking a matter of just a couple of minutes for both of these dungeons, assuming no issues. And they have a lot of equipment, obviously. Having 100% of the game tends to give you a lot of gear. They don't have a huge number of hearts, but they certainly have armor, half mana, all that good stuff. Saving as much mana as possible with half mana in the lamp here. Gonna go in with full on the boss.
It's an interesting decision when you have as much gear as these guys do. But we'll see how Fahrenheit's opts to go against Moldorm, or rather Mothula. Oh, he gets grabbed. Would have been a better idea just to go ahead and torch the Gibdo. You would have lost a whole lot of mana by doing that. Now, a hint for anyone else who's watching, if you want to save your mana against these Gibdos, you can kill them with one silver arrow.
You can. They are vulnerable to it.
Yeah, red team really did finish that quickly compared to the green team. Rough find for the fire rod for the green team, but they finally are there.
It was quite a run. It was really good. I've been in green team's position here before. It's really annoying to lose that badly when you feel like you're doing fine. It's just bad luck. It just comes down to opening the wrong places, really slowing you down a lot. If they had made better calls, I don't know. Red team played really well. Green team has made a couple of actual playing errors. I don't know that they would have been able to win if they played exactly the way Red did, but they certainly would have been closer if their routing was a little bit luckier, because they lost a lot of time to that.
Yeah, red team was really on fire this seed.
They lost a good 10 minutes just at the start before we even got moving on. We just could not find the item that lets you do Dark World. They just couldn't get it. If the gloves were in a more friendly place than they were, we would have seen both teams in the Dark World clearing out all of this much more quickly.
I think actually it was a mixture of both things, whether red team playing well and the green team just getting and red team getting lucky. Going to Agina early, getting the mushroom, getting the glove. That was a very lucky play for them.
Yeah, that was huge. They started off really fortunately, and they held it down afterwards. They did. Don't forget that he beat Blind without taking a single hit when he was low health. Things like that happened on the red team. They did really well. Meanwhile, we have had a couple of deaths in various places on green team. I think Blind and Vitreous both got some kills.
Yeah, Shogun had some unfortunate falls to both of those bosses. Now heading over to Ganon's Tower, and we know where the big key is. It's right-hand side. I don't think Shogun's going to go right-hand side first, though. The good thing here for Fahrenheit's, this is going to be a quick misery mire because of where this big key is. So green team heading on over to Ganon's tower once again. It turned out to be inside the compass room. And nice idea here by Shogun to take care of the Lionels via silver arrows.
Will Gundam go right or not? Are they going to get the final shove around from this seed, or are they going to get lucky and go the correct path? Here we go. Fahrenheit's won't be too long for Ganon's tower, as long as they don't have any trouble with the boss here. Oh no, he's going left. I probably would too. Unfortunately.
Yeah, this doesn't surprise me.
That's just going to add a little bit to the time. It's going to be Fahrenheit's probably who's going to get up there and go right.
By the time Fahrenheit's gets up there, Shogun should be close to the Armos Knight, so he definitely would go right-hand side.
This seat has not been friendly to them any step of the way. Nothing has been nice. The only things really, they had the red tunic and the red sword pretty quick. But as far as getting the items they need, they just cannot get a break.
Not that it really matters, so I wonder where that magic powder ended up.
I can find out, but I bet it's in here. I bet it's in the back.
I'll make my guess by saying Turtle Rock.
We're about to see it. The one missing item, that'll help out Shogun a little bit too, because he's been having some trouble with those low hearts. Because he is definitely going to find the magic powder real soon. Sure, there's been gaps between the teams, absolutely. I mean, our first race, one of the first ones we did was one of the worst seeds I've ever seen. Even compared to planned races, it was pretty bad. Like, it was 2.5 hours, and that seems like a good time for it. There was a pretty big difference in time in some of those.
So at this point, you know your partner is doing the left-hand side. You know that there's going to be a key on the right-hand side. Go right, Fahrenheit's.
No, he's not. Maybe he just wants a key.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Hey, look, there's a shovel. Best place to find a shovel.
That's just about everything. The only thing we haven't seen is the cape. Was the cape ever found?
No, it wasn't.
Total Rock. No one's getting that. That does it for items on this seed. We've seen them all.
You know, Magic Cape and Bug Catching Net in Turtle Rock, that's mean game.
I think they're trying to steer away from putting items in Total Rock more and Ganon's Tower more. That's something that they are trying to do. I don't know how well they've succeeded. But the numbers are available if you'd like to look at the stats on that. The exact numbers out of like 100,000 runs. Mirror Shield.
Oh, wow. Yeah, one of the things that they've been trying to do with this logic was try to put some more junk items to prevent the double sword Ganon's Tower thing like we have seen in the past.
Well, it actually makes things more random by putting Ganon's Tower, because Ganon's Tower, if it's randomly put in here, like it often is because there's so many chests in here, it's all pretty much the same. I mean, it's annoying to have it in the back, but it's only another minute or two of exploring. It's more random to put it somewhere else than just drop it in Ganon's Tower. Ganon's Tower is just a big old pool for items. Just everything that's not important is in here.
Yeah, you have 27 chests minus all the things that are normally found, like the keys, the big key, the map, and the compass. So that's just a whole bunch of items that go to the back end of the log, and swords are not considered a high priority item, and you've had cases where 3 swords end up in Ganon's Tower and you're stuck doing fighter sword everything. And those aren't fun.
I think it's okay that can happen, but it shouldn't be the norm, and it kind of leans toward being the norm that a lot of the good stuff is in Ganon's Tower a lot of the time. Like, you can almost depend on a sword upgrade being here on just about every run. It's very common for swords to be in here. And silver arrows too, and things like that. Things like that can be in here pretty often.
So nowadays, under this current logic, if you have fighter sword and you have all 7 crystals, you might want to search another dungeon to see if you can't find a sword upgrade.
Yeah, normally I would just go for Ganon's Tower and expect to find 2 of them. If I went through 7 dungeons minimum and still didn't have any sword upgrades, I would expect 2 of them in here for sure. I would just go in and just think that would happen.
Of course, it still didn't stop what happened in our run last night, where it turned out the validation chest, sword upgrade.
Nice. Did you need it?
No, but it gave us a nice cholesterol filling for Ganon's insides.
These 2 are on their way up now. Just a matter of time.
Yeah, I think Fahrenheit has a pretty good chance of getting a sub 2-hour mark on this, which is still not a bad time for what these guys had to go through in this run.
Yeah, they pretty much 100% of this. The only thing they didn't really do was Total Rock.
Fahrenheit's wanted to.
They did Swamp, they did most of Desert. They went in Turtle Rock, yeah, they did the first dungeon entrance, and that's it, because that's as far as they could get at the time. It's been a real nightmare for him. Let's take a look at the brackets here. I do have a game scheduled on Saturday, just one, I think. Let me see. Actually, I don't. That one got canceled. I'm gonna see if I can get another game set up in the future. I've got a couple days open. I've got lots of races to organize. The winner of this race, Zero Russian Ninja Bro, will be playing against Fayan and Vasco's at some point. That's going to be match 53 on this chart. We also have 3 more games in the lower bracket round 3. This was a round 3 game too. And we actually have 3 plus 4 plus 4 lower bracket games just to get caught up to the winners bracket. We got those 11 games. Up on the upper bracket, we've got 1 round 4 game left, and then we'll be in quarterfinals. So really, if we were just looking at the upper bracket, I would say we had 4 games left, basically. But since we do have double elimination, we actually have more like 15. Quite a few games left here. We're about to hit the bulk of the lower bracket's remainder right now as we enter the final phase of the tournament. The last 25% is going to be mostly lower bracket games. People who have gone down in the last 8 winners bracket games will be playing soon.
Hopefully we'll get ours finalized when we're going to be doing ours in the very near future.
I was expecting to get more games done more quickly than I did. We had some trouble scheduling, and I didn't have a whole lot of restream assistance with it, but I did have some, and I'm grateful for that. It was a pretty big load. Didn't expect so many participants either. Fahrenheit's unable to get a heal. You can't get healed in Ganon's Tower without the powder, unless you bring in a potion with you. First one into Aghanim's fight, though. I'll probably be pretty well and done with the randomizer, actually, Vetus, for a while after this, because it's pretty exhausting. I might join the tournament, the big one. Is that signed up yet? Is that participation open yet?
It's been announced the qualifiers are going to be in September because they're limiting it to 100 people.
That makes sense. It's a heck of a commitment.
Fahrenheit is going to have to be careful against this Aghanim. This is not a place where you want to die.
The biggest tournament I've ever run was, I think I did have about 120 people in a Nuclear Throne tournament. I got put in the credits for that one, but oh boy, that was a journey, and that was a 20-minute game or less, generally speaking. Even with my configuration to make it last a little longer, it wasn't no 2-hour matches. Running tournaments like that is a burden.
Thankfully, Fahrenheit did finish off Aga 2. That is the worst place you want to take a death in this game.
Yes. The longest death for sure. You will get sent all the way back down to the start of the tower. If I did a Mega Maker or Mario Maker tournament, I would probably make or pick the maps myself. I was thinking about doing one of those myself, but there are other streams who do that kind of thing. I generally don't like to compete with other partners on content. I like to make my own thing. I like to try and make original stuff, usually, so try and avoid that. I am allowed to do it, obviously. I just don't like to duplicate content, I guess. It's just I just don't like to do it, that's all. I was thinking about a Mario Maker race all the same, though, because it is totally my jam. I would be all over that. And it is a different community, so I wouldn't know any of those guys who do the other one anyway. Nuclear Throne, 2-hour matches, that'll happen if you're going after the captain. It's been a while since I played Nuclear Throne.
Which tournament would you like to? Which tournament you haven't done that you would like to do?
Well, next on my list is another mystery triathlon. People really wanted to see that one again. But I haven't done a Spelunky one. I was thinking about doing that. Bring back Spelunky from the grave. Fahrenheit's going for a double hit here. Gonna finish off Ganon. There it is. Fahrenheit's is cleared.
Just over 2 hours, but
Just
a good
barely.
time nonetheless. Give these guys a lot of credit for continuing on and finishing off this seed after the other team had finished in a combined time of 1:13 and change.
Ultimately losing by a pretty sizable amount of time. This is what happens when you have to clear so much compared to so little.
And Shogun Gundam 404 is done as well.
They handled the last stretch of the game pretty well. I'll see if they want to hop in and commentate on this call. I figure if they do want to do that, they'll have a lot to say about it. 20101.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, GG to all those guys.
I'll give them the option. Hello, nice race.
Ever have this overwhelming sense of deja vu?
Yeah, or something.
I can't believe it happened again.
All
Almost
the bad luck.
exactly the same thing we did in our first race.
You got hit with every problem under the sun. The red team had a very lucky streak through the whole seed, and you guys were just not getting the break.
We had some good luck going on, and then we just kind of got stalled. And then we both thought that Stumpy, or the wood tree guy, had been checked, and then I found out that we hadn't checked him, and we got Titan's mitts.
It was basically shoe was on the other foot. I feel bad that I did the same thing my partner did in the first race.
It happens.
Yeah. Oh man.
I've
It
got
was
to give you guys a lot of props for continuing on and finishing off that seed after the other team had finished.
Hey, I've been too many hours and too much practice to give a did not finish this far in.
We weren't gonna give up no matter what. We were gonna get gonged before we were gonna give up.
Well, you weren't anywhere near that. But nice work finishing out. Yeah, you guys took a lot longer to find like the power gloves and stuff. That mushroom trick at the start that the seed pulled really messed you up.
Yeah.
Red team got that
Yeah.
right away. They got a little lucky on that. So they were already in the Dark World pretty early on, and they were wrapping up in an hour because of all that kind of stuff. Like they were just on the right track, and they were playing really well, collecting everything.
Yeah.
You guys were just not finding the stuff. You just couldn't find the fire rod. You couldn't find a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think we checked literally everywhere we could have checked before we found the fire rod.
Yeah, you went into
Probably
swamp.
darn
you did.
close.
You went into the swamp palace.
Yeah.
Well, understandably,
Ah.
going into the swamp, but red team didn't do that. So there's a whole dungeon that you had to do that they didn't. That kind of thing added up. That's why you lost by so much at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about that Bombo's required ice palace?
I know. I did not expect that.
Me either. You'd never expect that.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
GG to our competitors. We knew going in we had a tough match ahead of us.
Oh, yeah.
Even if we had done perfectly, which apparently they did, we weren't going to win. We knew that. We
Well-
had strong competition.
I
So
think
the-
it's been fun practicing. It's been fun competing.
Absolutely.
It's been a joy.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question was, did you guys have fun?
Yes,
Yeah.
we had a lot of fun.
Well, thanks for playing. We'll see you next time. I host one of these. Probably not Zelda, but maybe something. We'll see.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
But we will
I'm,
definitely be back. Thank you again for hosting this.
Yep.
Great
Thanks for
effort,
joining.
guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Talk to you later.
Have a good night, everybody.
As for me, I'm probably going to stream a little Mario Maker at this point and Legend of the Gaia, that kind of stuff. So if y'all want to stick around for that, be my guest. I'll be taking a couple-minute break though, so I'll be right back. Thanks for joining me, Rick.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me.
And yeah, I'll just take 5 and then gonna load up some Mario Maker in the Mario Maker mood, and then Legend